My dear sisters and brothers, when I was in Cebu during the Christmas time to spend the holidays with my father and mother, I used to watch some YouTube video clips before going to bed because there were no mass assignments. I would just have mass with them privately. And one of those that I watched, very Christmassy, I made the decision to watch Christmassy videos in YouTube, was this man who went around the mall trying to inspire people to sing with him. And so as he was passing through the mall, people would pass by and they would say, "Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer." And people would just sneer at him. Weird. Crazy guy. There was even one who said, "Stay away from me." So that was his experiment. So he would just pass, "Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer," until one Lola with her walkers, he passed by her and said, "Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer." And the Lola smiled, "Had a very shiny nose." And he continued, "And if you ever saw him," Lola smiled, "you would even say it glowed." All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. And so he was already in the mood. "They never let poor Rudolph," and then the Lola, "join in any reindeer game." Oh, thank you, Lola. Thank you, Granny. What made you sing with me? Then the Lola said, "I saw you egging people to sing with you. And so when you come to me, I sang with you. Why?" And Lola said, "Because it seems you were looking for joy. And that's the least that I can do, give you joy." "What made you do that, Lola?" And the granny said, "Because I was once lonely myself, and people would come to me to cheer me up. Maybe I thought you were lonely, and so I thought singing with you would cheer you up." My dear sisters and brothers, I think that is the real essence of entering into the season of this liturgical year, the season of Lent. Although I started with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Why? The readings of today's liturgy speak so beautifully about the mercy and compassion of God. Mercy and compassion of God as experienced by the figures of sacred scriptures. So what is my point? My dear sisters and brothers, we will only be able to extend mercy. We will only be able to stop being judgmental. We will only be able to forgive if we ourselves get in touch with a deep personal experience of having been shown mercy, a deep personal experience of having been forgiven, of a radical personal experience of not being condemned despite who we were, despite what we have done. Many times in confession, people would share, "Father, I find it difficult to forgive. Father, I find it so easy to be judgmental. Father, I find this person so difficult to accept. Father, I find this person so annoying. I don't like to be with this person," etc. And I would tell them, that is normal because that is our basic human response to something that is not desirable. But if you really want to grow in holiness, how? By forgiving those who are too difficult to forgive, by accepting those who are difficult to accept, and by loving those who seemingly are unlovable. Get in touch with your experience of being forgiven, of being accepted, of being loved, and allow the beauty of that experience to somehow shape your future decisions and behavior. If I myself am difficult to if I myself am a person difficult to love, but if there are still people who continue to love me, isn't it a movement towards loving others as well? If I myself, with all my idiosyncrasies, ang akong pagkapatagad, ang akong pagka-istariray, ang akong pagka-annoying at certain times. And people would move away from me. But there is one person who spends time with me. Can I not allow that person's gesture to somehow shape my own gesture towards people I find repulsive? Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. My dear sisters and brothers, we can only be merciful if we have experienced mercy ourselves. Just as Lola, who at one point or certain points in her life was lonely, but she was cheered up by certain people of her life. So she was able to make that decision, even if she would seem to look funny, even if she would seem to look foolish, to sing with this guy who she thought just wanted to cheer himself up. And so, it is only in that way that our Lenten discipline of becoming more and more like God, compassionate, forgiving, and loving, will only be possible if we allow that experience of forgiveness and love to shape us, to radically change us, especially in our dealings and relationships with others. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, hinaot paunta.